Welcome, folks. The year is 2024, and Vladimir Putin has just been sworn in for his fifth term. That's right, fifth. I'm beginning to lose count. I mean, if presidency was a game of cricket, Putin would be the guy who just keeps batting while everyone else is waiting for their turn. Now, this recent inauguration has ruffled quite a few feathers across the globe. The United States, the United Kingdom, and most of the European Union nations have shown Putin the cold shoulder, boycotting the inauguration. They've cited concerns over Russia's actions, Putin's leadership, and a general lack of democratic legitimacy. It's like a high school party where the cool kids decided not to show up because they didn't like the host. But it's not all doom and gloom for Putin. France, Hungary and Slovakia have decided to RSVP yes to the party. On the other hand, Ukraine and some Western countries continue to denounce Putin's presidency as illegitimate. It's a bit like the schoolyard bully claiming to be the class president. This inauguration comes amidst tensions over Ukraine and Western accusations of Russian aggression and cyber attacks. It's as if Putin's trying to juggle flaming swords while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. And here's a fun fact, folks. This is Putin's fifth term. Yes, you heard it right, fifth. If his presidency was a movie, it'd be on its fifth sequel by now. We'd be watching The Putin Saga, Part 5. And let's be honest, sequels are rarely as good as the originals, so Putin's back for another round. He's like that house guest who just won't leave, isn't he? You know the one, always the last to leave the party, and then insists on helping with the washing up while you're trying to hint that it's time for bed. Well, let's see what the next term brings. Stay tuned for the next scene, the boycott brouhaha. Now, not everyone's thrilled about Putin's recoronation. In fact, some folks are downright party poopers. You see, countries like the United States, the United Kingdom and most of the European Union have decided to throw a little tantrum boycotting the inauguration. They're sitting in their corner of the global playground, arms crossed, refusing to play nice. The United States, the UK and our friends over in the EU are like the cool kids in school who've decided they won't sit with the class troublemaker. They've cited concerns over Russia's actions, particularly those pertaining to Ukraine and Putin's leadership as their reasons. And let's not forget the Baltic states. They've joined the boycott bandwagon as well. Now, it's not all doom and gloom for Putin. He's got some buddies who are willing to hang out with him. France, Hungary and Slovakia are expected to send representatives to the ceremony. But hey, you can't please everyone, right? Ukraine and some Western countries continue to denounce Putin's presidency as illegitimate. It's like that schoolyard feud we've all witnessed or been a part of. You know, the one where Johnny stole Billy's lunch, and now everyone's picked a side. Who's the bully? Who's the victim? It's all a matter of perspective. So, the world's playing a game of ignore the bully in the playground. Let's see how that works out. In his inauguration speech, Putin emphasized unity and strength. Well, that's one way to spin it. Vladimir Putin, the man of the hour, stood tall and proud as he renewed his vows with Russia. For the fifth time, no less. Quite the committed relationship, don't you think? In his speech, he spoke about unity and strength. You've got to admire the man's optimism. With a good portion of the world giving his ceremony the cold shoulder, he's still talking about unity. To be fair, maybe he was referring to a unifying boycott. But let's not forget strength. Putin's definition of strength includes cyber attacks, aggression, and the occasional nuclear weapons drill. Nothing screams strength like a good old-fashioned show of force. I mean, who needs diplomacy when you have intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? And then there were his vows to prioritize Russia's interests. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a sense of déjà vu here. It's almost as if we've heard this before. Oh, wait, we have. 4 times before, to be precise. It's like a broken record, looping over and over. Russia's interests first, dialogue with Western countries on equal terms, yada, yada, yada. It's the same song, just a different dance. Of course, critics have pointed out Putin's long tenure marked by war, economic challenges and repression. It's a bit like a greatest hits album, but the kind where you skip most of the tracks. But hey, at least he's consistent, right? In the end, Putin's inauguration was a spectacle of grandeur, defiance, and a healthy dose of irony. The world watched, Some in attendance, others in protest, as Putin took his fifth oath amidst tensions and boycotts. So Putin's promising a united, strong Russia. I mean, why change the script now, right? Of course, not everyone's buying what Putin's selling. The critics have their say, too. Let's dive right into the thick of it. Picture Putin as a stubborn old rock star, refusing to leave the stage. The crowd is divided, some cheering, others booing, and a few just bewildered. Just like any rock star past his prime, Putin's got his fair share of critics. And boy, do they have a lot to say. Let's start with the big W. War. They say Putin's got a knack for it. His tenure has been dotted with conflicts, like a head-banging drummer pounding relentlessly on the drum kit. But unlike a rock concert, these beats have real, often tragic, repercussions. Then we have the economic challenges. Putin's Russia has faced more ups and downs than a rollercoaster ride at a fun fair. Sanctions here, recessions there, it's no smooth sailing. But Putin, just like a rock star with one last encore, insists on pressing on. And let's not forget the R word, repression. Critics argue that Putin's Russia is like a concert where only one song is allowed to play. Dissenters are silenced, opposition quashed. Not exactly the ingredients for a democratic symphony, huh? But despite these criticisms, Putin struts back onto the stage for a fifth term, microphone in hand, ready to belt out his greatest hits once again. Some might call it tenacity, others a worrying disregard for democracy. So there you have it, folks. Putin's back for another term, whether we like it or not. It's like a never-ending episode of a bad reality TV show. Stay tuned for more updates.